Hi, everybody. I'm Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz with a pre-5 o'clock update on the severe weather threat for much of central Ohio this evening and into tonight. You'll notice that much of the viewing area is under that threat for severe weather, especially the central northern parts, areas that have seen repeated rainfall over the past couple of days, mainly on Sunday and again on Tuesday and again on Thursday. Kind of every other day we're in that pattern right now, and we appreciate you joining us for this update right now as we're heading up about 4:45. One of the things we've been watching very carefully is the opportunity for the thunderstorms to develop in this warm and humid air. Right now, let's take a look at the threat and the timeline for this particular storms. As we go through the next several hours, it looks like the impact is going to be coming between about 6 to 7 o'clock through about 2 a.m. and maybe even a bit longer as we stretch through the wee hours of the morning. One of the things I want to bring to your attention, especially in the second half of the night, after we get past 9, 10 o'clock, the thunderstorms take on a different level of danger because it's dark. You can't see what's happening out there. Rest assured, we're going to keep you covered and let you know if severe weather moves in, how long it's going to last, and what areas it will impact. But again, the best window for that 7 till about 2 a.m. Notice we've got the orange categories for strong winds and hail. Those two things are the biggest threat from these storms. It does not mean that an isolated weak tornado is not possible, nor does it mean that flooding or heavy rain is not possible, but where we're focusing right now is hail and high winds. So what does that mean for you as you're preparing still in plenty of time before the storms come, plenty of daylight left? Even if you're getting back from work this evening, you might want to bring that car inside, maybe clear out some space in the garage and bring that car inside. And also anything that's loose, garbage cans, hopefully my son sees them at the end of the driveway and brings those garbage cans in because of the wind. That's just an example of things you can take precautions. Anything that's loose that might become a projectile with the winds this evening and the thunderstorms, you should be considered to kind of bring inside and do what you can to kind of batten down the hatches, literally. Now, the live radar scan in and around Franklin County and Columbus right now is looking pretty clean. To the west and north, all the way out toward Bell Fountain, down 33, or up 33, I should say, also looking pretty clean. Further off toward the west, this is where the activity is just beginning to pick up in the past 30 minutes. We're watching these thunderstorms developing in that warm, humid air in northern and northeastern Indiana and then dropping to the southeast. Right now, there are not any severe thunderstorm warnings, and at this point, it's not likely that we're going to see a thunderstorm watch issued, but I'm here to tell you that we're going to be watching, and so should you, for the opportunity for some of these thunderstorms to drop in and possibly becoming severe later on this evening into tonight. If you step outside today, even without wall-to-wall sunshine, you can feel the breeze. As you try and take a breath in, you can kind of sense that humidity is up just a little bit from where it was yesterday. The humidity, a little bit of sunshine, combined with that cold front dropping in, that's going to be the catalyst, kind of that focusing mechanism for those thunderstorms later on this evening and into tonight. So in case you're just joining us, we're giving you a little bit of a heads up before our 5 o'clock broadcast this evening to talk about the threat of severe weather for central Ohio. We are looking at and watching those thunderstorms just starting to develop and right ahead of that cold front in northeastern Indiana and then going to drop southeast into the viewing area. Right now, we're seeing a mix of clouds and sun, mainly clouds, which is fine. If we had wall-to-wall sunshine this afternoon, this evening, not only would temperatures be up, but that would be like adding gasoline onto the weather fire for those thunderstorms later on this evening, which I don't think we're going to do. So just to kind of qualify things and let you know where we're at, we are under the threat for some of those strong thunderstorms this evening, watching them begin to work in and form from the northern parts of Indiana into Ohio, but the main threat will be later on this evening into tonight. One other thing I want to share with you is just looking at the threat and where we're going to keep our attention focused, not geographically, but what the impacts would be. The threat for tornadoes in this situation is very low. The atmosphere is primed for some thunderstorms that could bring down some high winds and damaging winds, and also some large hail. Now, we're talking about large hail from a National Weather Service perspective. It's generally larger than a ½ inch to an inch, and that's a little bit smaller than a golf ball, maybe ping pong size. If you've ever seen hail that's big, maybe the size of a quarter, that's business, and that's why you want to take the precautions now at about 10 till 5 and might want to bring your car inside or maybe cover some of those plants outside. And also, because of the potential for wind gusts and maybe some high wind gusts, anything that might be loose, whether it's garbage can lids or maybe some tree branches or things you might just lawn furniture outside, might want to just bring that under shelter. flooding. We are going to see some heavy downpours. We'll show you that graphic in a second, but the main two threats from the storms this evening are the hail possibility and the high winds. Let's take a quick look at the potential for rainfall, and this goes through tonight into tomorrow morning. Now we're going to watch, I'm not going to take you hour by hour, but just showing you fast forward ahead in time up until about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, areas that got that heavy rain Sunday, heavy rain Tuesday, again some moderate to heavy rain tonight into tomorrow morning. Not necessarily Columbus, about 1/3 of an inch, but Lancaster, down toward Logan and Athens, down toward Jackson, that area getting possibly 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Still on the short end of the rain gauge, our friends and neighbors in Piketon down toward Pike County, but everybody else looks to be between about 1/2 to 1 inch of rain, so a good soaking rain. The difference tonight than Sunday and Tuesday is that this might come in some quick hitting thunderstorms that might elevate the potential for some flash flooding, but overall it looks like a good soaking rain for many locations. Again, that's why the flood threat isn't zero, and especially as these storms come in after dark, still bears watching as these storms begin to move in. A quick look at our tower camera right now to show that kind of hazy sunshine mix for you. We are seeing a bit more in the way of overcast. And if you're just joining us, we're just breaking into coverage to give you a bit of an update before our 5 o'clock news today and kind of prime the pump as we get into severe weather coverage mode later on this evening. Without a lot of sunshine out there, temperatures have managed upper 70s, which is fine. We're seeing a bit more humidity coming back in. There's dew points in the 50s and low 60s. And we're also watching a cold front coming down, but we're actually fortunate that we're not having wall-to-wall sunshine this evening. If we did, that might prove to be a bit more problematic and adding, again, fuel to some of those storms. Quick look at the radar scan for us, 10 till 5, almost 9 till 5 right now. We're watching again a mixture of clouds and sun. Further off toward the north and west, this is the area that we're focusing our attention on. And these storms dropping southeast at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So that puts it first around Logan County, around Hardin County, around Bellefontaine, right around 6 to 6:30. And then as that front begins to drop southeast and those thunderstorms kind of outpace the front, that's when things begin to get a little more interesting for the rest of central Ohio. So let's take a quick look before we take a break here and start preparing for our 5 o'clock newscast. This is the hour-by-hour forecast for you, starting about 5 p.m. So this is new model information just in the past 45 minutes that shows very active weather coming in Marion, Delaware, and northern parts of Franklin County. Notice a couple of things, clearly favoring the area just north of I-70, and behind this line of thunderstorms, temperatures drop considerably. Going through that into about 6 to 7 p.m., notice that area begins to move off toward the east, Mount Vernon, Newark, and then London and Circleville, as this model depicts 7 to 8 o'clock p.m. Now, once this initial wave passes by, normally things settle down. Doesn't mean we can't see severe weather storms after that, and this model indicates that we're going to see areas this time along and south of Interstate 70, 9 p.m. till about midnight tonight. So bottom line is that just about everybody between 7 o'clock and about 1 o'clock in the morning, fair game for thunderstorms. At this point, there are no warnings out there, but we're going to continue to watch the situation as it evolves. You can join us in just a few minutes on our 10 TV broadcast live at 5. We're going to carry that through 90 minutes until 6:30, and if we need to continue to watch and track these thunderstorms after 6:30, you can count on us to be there for you even between then and 11 o'clock tonight. So that's a quick wrap and a quick update from the 10 TV Doppler 10 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry March. Join me in 7.5 minutes for 10 TV News at 5.